Welcome back to another video. My name is Abby, and today we are talking about a big mistake that people make when living in the end. Now, before we start the video, I have a couple of announcements to make. Specifically, if you have been interested in working with me one-on-one, I've recently changed the way that I'm doing payments. I've shifted it to be donation-based. There is a $30 minimum payment for the session, which is a 1-hour session, but if you feel so led to give more, you can do so in the tip option, and that's great. And if right now $30 is what you can give, that is great too. Either way, I am very excited and happy to work with you to help break through limiting beliefs, help you start manifesting that which you want. So look at that link below if you're interested. So back to the video. What is a super common mistake that people are making when it comes to living in? Well, first, let's make sure we're on the same page with what living in the end is. It comes from Neville Goddard, and basically it's you, whatever it is, you have a wish that you want to be fulfilled, a desire, right? It could be about finances, it could be about relationship, it could be about a specific job you want, location, whatever it is. This wish you want it to be fulfilled, and there's feelings and there's states of being, which is how you think and how you feel, that you would experience with this magical golden nugget from the universe, right? Well, the principle of Neville Goddard is basically you live right now, even though it doesn't appear in your outside world to have this golden nugget. You live, you have the thoughts and the feelings that you have this golden nugget right now. So if it is about amount of money, you start thinking, okay, how would you maneuver in the world? How would you act? What would you think? How would you behave? How would you handle situations? You start becoming more and more clear about that version of you that lives in the future, that lives with this golden nugget. And you starting to have that behavior and start having those thoughts and feelings, which is your electromagnetic signature, you're going to be sending it out to the universe and basically saying, hey, I am already feeling those ways. You can now send that to me because I'm actually in alignment with that inversion. So you're creating a bridge to that, because we know that life is a reflection. So if you're starting to have the feelings and you already feel it in your inner world, just like the video I made recently, which is me standing in front of a mirror, your life is the mirror. You are the cause. Whatever it is you think about yourself and the permission that you give, the consent that you give, and that goes to the law of assumption, which basically all the law of assumption is all the things you give permission and consent to be true about you, about life, about this golden nugget. Those are true. So you're making sure also that your assumptions are in alignment with the golden nugget version of you. So what assumptions do you need to change to live in alignment that the inversion of you is happening right now? You do all those things, and basically that is the bridge to get there because you're already doing it. Ultimately, life will reflect back the fact that you're already being it. You won't wait and sit here hoping and dreaming of it because you're thinking of it. And then magically you open the door and Amazon has delivered the golden nugget, right? You have to be it before you can see it in your external world. Why? Because you are the cause to the reflection that you are seeing. Doesn't that feel better? We're getting it all out. We're saying all the words so that your brain can comprehend, so that your body and your brain can get on the same page, because your body is basically your feelings. Feelings are the language of your body, and thoughts are in your head. So the electrical part is your head and your body is your magnetic part. So combining those so you can be in alignment so that you can get that from the universe. It sounds very wordy, but it's really, really simple. And you've done this probably in other ways. If you've experienced that it's really easy to manifest maybe money, but relationships are impossible. Or maybe it's really easy to manifest jobs, but when it comes to love, you can't seem to do it. That is because the places that you feel most resistance or most struggle with manifesting, you've probably had the most pain, the most hurt, and potentially manifesting or living in that inversion, getting your golden nugget might feel unsafe. Because in that way, in those, if it's a relational thing specifically, you might have had trauma or previous hurts where your body's saying, no, we've done that before. We tried it. It is not safe. Put that in the unknown. We don't want it. And then inside you're like, oh, I really want this romantic relationship. I really want this amount of money. So also realize that. So We're going now to the biggest mistake people make when they're trying to live in the end. What you have to understand is you're always living in the end. People think the same as manifestation, that when you learn to manifest and you're going to start incorporating these things, then you'll see a change. That's kind of true. However, you're manifesting right now. You're living in the end right now. It's like, wait a second, what? This is already happening? Yes, what you want to do is become an observer of what it is that you're putting in the fire to fuel what you're getting in life. You could be living in the end of you never getting your wish fulfilled. What thoughts and what feelings are you giving that and fueling that? If you continually think the same thoughts that you thought yesterday, 60 to 80,000 thoughts you think a day. So if 90% of the ones you're thinking today came from yesterday and you're recycling those, you're going to get what you got from the past. Meaning that you're going to live in the end version of you of all these things that never work out, of you not being good enough, of you not getting the love you want or the money you want or the job you want. So you have to be very clear about understanding that it's happening now. You are doing it. Use metacognition, which is starting to think about the thoughts that you think about all the time. Start thinking about the way that you feel. Start thinking about what you're thinking about, basically. You need to become an investigator and a detective to yourself. This is according to the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. So when you start doing that, you start really getting into, oh, okay, yeah. Underneath it, I've actually been living under the assumption that I'm not good enough. And I thought that if this person loved me, then I would feel good enough, or then I would feel loved. Or maybe if I had $100,000 and I could buy that car and buy that house, then I'd feel worthy. Understand that you will not be able to see the external reflection of worthiness until you feel worthy, until you feel loved, until you feel whole and complete. Start removing and dissolving whatever belief, which is whatever you say, yes, that's true for me. I'm going to say I give that permission to be true. Law of assumption, permission and consent. All of these things are based on what the power you give them. So if you've had a past that's been full of heartache and disappointment and people letting you down, and you've given it a meaning that you're not good enough or you're not worthy, and when your outside world shows you that you're worthy, then you'll change. You have to understand that the meaning that you've given things from your past is what is continually giving it power in your present. And as long as that's defining you, your future will look exactly like your past and you'll be predictable. Only when you start realizing, okay, I continue to do this, I want to make a change. My inner world is going to be greater than whatever my current external reality is. I know that ultimately, eventually, my thoughts and my feelings, I'm going to have that so strong. I'm going to live in that in version of me, and I'm not going to let that go. I'm going to make a decision now that my inner world is greater than my outer world, meaning that eventually my outer world will reflect how it is that I feel about myself. So realize that you are living in the end right now. You're already using those same mechanisms. What you need to change is, what is that in version of you? What is it that you really want to be? The more you start thinking about the catastrophic, the things you don't want to happen, you're using your imagination to create them. You can use that same energy to create the life that you want. The decision is yours, and only you know how you're spending that energy. Do you want to continually perpetuate the thing you don't want? Or maybe you take a chance on yourself and you give yourself the permission to start imagining the life you want, start thinking and feeling in alignment with that. Live in the inversion that you want. The more you do that, the more you will start to see that reflected back to you. You deserve this. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, hit that like button below. If you haven't done so already, join this community. We would love to have you. Hit that subscribe button. And I love you all, and I'll see you on the next one.